Hey guys, we're back for episode 3 of the Pimp My Crawler series. We have a new one. It's from Roy DeLeon. At his Instagram's Roy's underscore RC underscore shop. So he sent over. Let's see if I can pan this out. Brand new Basecamp. So it hasn't even been opened, so I'll unbox it right now. And then we'll be right back with it. Alright guys, so this is brand new, never used. Looks like he got some stickers. So put a sticker on this. So that's he sent over some. We'll open this right up. Looks like a bunch of stickers here. Oh yeah, a lot of stickers. Oh, these look like magnets. That's pretty cool. We'll see if that's stick on here. There it is. All right, thank you for all the stickers and oh, nice. Is that a smaller one? Another magnet. So we got a bunch of stickers. We'll leave that one up there for him. So we got a Basecamp. So I haven't had a Basecamp yet. I don't know what the wheelbase is on those. Is that the same as a C10? I think about the same. Yeah, so like a 133. Okay. So these are the older ones with this. Still has the friction shocks. These are blue remotes. Okay. All right. So at least, so these are still the older model. So I can do the ESC and still use a receiver and everything. So that's good. We'll take this body out. So we're probably not going to use, we're definitely not going to use the body. What I was thinking about doing for this one was I had this. I think this is off of Rob Ski Fab, off his website. This is his OBS body. So I printed this out a while ago and just sanded it a little bit just to kind of smooth it out. I think this would. I'd like to do this body on this one. Oh, the wheelbase is like perfect for that. So maybe we'll do that. And then we'll do, that's that one. We'll do the flat skid. The flat skid, the Nessie 24 flat skid chassis on there instead. Because that should hold up perfect, yeah. So that will look good. So we'll do the flat skid chassis on there. We'll get some links maybe. These tires, actually the size of it's pretty good. What size tires are these? All right, those are about a 52. Let me get my tire box here. I got some 57 mil claw hammers. So these claw hammers might be a little bit big. But with that body raised up, I think that'll look good. Some 57s. Let's see what we got for wheels. These are some trail wheels. I think these already have brass inserts on them, brass rings. So I'll do these wheels and tires. And then we have a brushless, Enduro brushless motor, the Purple Viper. I got a PTK servo we could put on there. I'm not sure about if we need to do anything with the wheel offset. I think I might leave. I'm gonna put this together first with these axles and just see how the wheel is. So if it's fine how it is, I should have some, these stock ones. No, those are +4s. Yeah, these are stock size CVDs. So depending on what it is, yeah, these wheels don't have much of an offset. So depending on what it is, I might leave the offset the same, the axle width the same, and just change out the CVDs and leave the back, because I think that actually looks pretty good. Then we have a couple different springs. I have the Endura 40 big bore 40mm springs shocks, and the RC Lions. These are the 33mm. I like these sometimes for these hard bodies, just because you're not getting it. It won't droop down so much. It sits a little bit better. So once we put it together, I'll figure out what shocks to go with, and then anything else up here. Oh, most likely gonna need the adjustable servo mount, and I also have a I don't know if we're gonna need this or not with these wheels, but a little brass plate in the front. So that's pretty much all the parts that I'm thinking. We'll throw those things back. So I think that's everything that I'm thinking. I think these wheels I'll definitely do. The tires I'm not sure. I'll figure out if the 57s are good or not. Let's see if I have anything else. Everything else is larger. I have the 63mm grippers, but actually let me open those up. These are the grippers. This is a 63. I think that's going to be, yeah, that's going to look like a monster truck. All right, so we'll stick with the 57s. Trying to see if I have any other smaller ones around here. I have these. What are these? These are the Tusk ones. I think these are 53mm. About 52. So that's about the same size as stock. I think those are just going to be too small. They don't look bad though. Maybe I'll do that. These are still glued on. I haven't taken them off yet. Maybe I'll put it together and I'll see if how these look on there too. Because those will actually look good too. So we'll see. Either the 57 or the 53s. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure that out. But this is the chassis. That's the chassis kit I'm going to be running. So this is the same as the Nessie 24 that I've been using, but instead of the angled skid, I think it's a 12-degree angle skid. We're just going to do a flat skid, just because the body's flat anyway, so the angle skid's not going to do anything. So we'll get that together. I'll start taking this thing apart. I think what we're going to keep, we'll have the front and rear axles, drive shafts we'll keep. The shocks we are not going to keep. Transmission we need. The receiver we're going to need. And that might be it. Maybe the links too. I'll see. Maybe I'll just do the the bottom links only I'll replace. Oh, this is a 3-link anyways. All right, we'll redo the links also. So I'll take the stuff apart, and then I'll fit it onto the new chassis, and we'll be right back. Okay, this is where we're at right now. Swapped everything over to the new chassis, got that on. I have the stock links on right now just to see how the wheelbase sits. New motor and transmission on there, onto this motor and motor mount onto the stock transmission, with the PTK servo with the Endura mount on there. I have the 40 millimeter shocks on, and I think those are going to work fine. I wasn't sure if I was going to run those or the 33s, but I think these look good. And then the axles I left stock with right now. I haven't trimmed them or anything. I just want to see how it lined up. So I end up with the RC 4-wheel drive boggers. I think they're the boggers. TSL boggers, Super Swampers. They're a little bit bigger than the J Concepts. I think they fit a little bit better. They're just maybe like 2 millimeters bigger. I think they look good with this build. And then with these wheels, with the Trio wheels, they're actually pretty a little bit wider, has more an offset. So I think that offset is going to sit good there. So I'm going to leave it at stock width. And I haven't done the magnets yet, so I'll adjust the height. But I think that will work good. And that clear, well, once I trim it, we'll see about clearing it. It should be fine. I might raise it up just a little bit, just to make sure that everything clears without trimming the body too much. I don't want to cut too much. I might trim some of the that front edge, just a little bit to clear it, but I think that'll work. The other thing is the wheelbase is a little bit short. I think I want it to sit a little further back to make sure that front clears. So I'm going to stretch out the rear a little bit. Probably bring it out maybe about 10 millimeters. I think I'm gonna push it a little bit past the back wheel well, past the center. Yeah, I think 10. I think about 10 millimeters. It's gonna push the center back a little bit, just to kind of make that departure a little bit better. But I think that's the next thing, is I'll get this fitted on here. I'll get those links done. So I'm going to keep the front straight, and then the rears, I'll just put a single bend on that rear link. I think that'll fit good. And so then I'll change out the front steering link and everything, and I'll mess with this. I'll actually probably do this all right now, and then I think I'm going to do a 23% overdrive gear in the front. The wheels are a little bit smaller, so I think I'll do the overdrive. I usually, with bigger tires, I'll do I'd rather do the underdrive in the rear, just so I don't have so much wheel speed. But these tires are a little bit smaller. I'll do the overdrive in the front. So I'm going to take that apart, and I'll do the CVDs and everything in the overdrive all at once. All right, I have that all taken apart. I'm going to throw on the underdrive gear. Pull this one out. I'll have to do this off camera. It's too hard sometimes working like around the camera. So I'm gonna do, like I said, I'll do the 23% overdrive in the front. Typically I try not to, just because it spins a little bit faster, gives it too much wheel speed, and then it gives it too much wheel speed, and I try to limit how much wheel speed they have, just so you can get the better slow crawl. So I got that in. Get that gear back in there. So those are in. I'll put some grease on there. Actually, I should put that grease on before I do that. So we'll get some grease on that thing. And then while I'm at it, I think I'm going to do the brass diff cover in the front just to give it a little extra weight. I don't think I'll need it, but just in case. So I have this brass diff cover. Not sure what this is. I don't know how much it weighs. So probably, I think this is like the 7, maybe 11 gram cover. Pop this old bearing out. Okay. Move you back. That would make it easier. All right. So I'll put this in there. Is that not in all the way? It's not sitting in for some reason. Seems like it's in all the way. I think it's the bearing. Oh yeah, that's what it was. The bearing wasn't grabbing. Wasn't going in good. Alright. So we got those. Put these covers on. And then I'm going to do the trim the axles also to get some more steering. I had people ask me about why I use it this way, the screwdriver this way. It's just easier for me. Instead of having the long handle for something small like this. I don't know. I prefer it. I think it makes it easier to screw it in, and also you can feel how tight things are going easier, I think, rather than a big handle. Alright, one more screw. Okay, so those are on. Let me clear some stuff up. So we're going to do the rear. That's a +4. Okay, stock ones. So those stock size, these are the OGRC CVDs. And then, let me move that back a little bit more. And then I'm going to trim these. So I just take these, the low reamers, and just kind of go around. Let me move you a little bit. Maybe that will work a little bit better. So you can see right there, I'll clean that up a little bit more. But you can see how that's cut out. Compared to this side. And that'll just give that more turning radius for the clearance for the knuckles to turn. It's easier to do this without the axles on, but they're already on, so. Alright, that should be enough. So you can see that's cut out. So let's try it out. We'll put the I'll have to get those in. So once we put the steering knuckles back on, we'll see how much clearance there is. But this should make a big difference. And we're using the stock knuckles. That's why I was adding this brass plate, the brass diff cover, just to give it a little bit extra weight there. The wheels also have brass inserts on them. Oh, wrong side. So the wheels with the brass inserts, that's going to help out a lot too. So I think that's all we're going to have to really add for weight on this thing. That does stick out a little bit too, the diff cover, because it's one of the bigger ones. So I'll have to mess with the steering link to make sure that clears it. So it might be out a little bit more than your normal steering link. I'll just have to see how much clearance it has. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's see if you can see it this way. So that link's hitting right away. So I'll make sure to bow it out more to make sure we got enough clearance. But with that, the steering's a lot better. I might have to trim a little bit more on the inside, but that's pretty much it. So I'll mess with this stuff We have the overdrive gear in the front now, the CVDs. I'm going to mess with the links to stretch it out a little bit more. The front will stay the same. The rear I'm going to stretch out about another 10 millimeters, and then we'll get the body mounted up. So I'll do that stuff now, and then I'll kind of show you once it's kind of ready to go. Okay, we got the links done. So I redid the front, kind of spaced that out a little bit. So now you can see that's not going to hit. And then you can see the steering angle now with everything cut. So it's much better than it was. So new front steering links. So those are all set now. And then I did the regular links. So I did the front just straight links, replaced them both. Those were the stock Basecamp, so it's same as the C10 links. And then the rear, I stretched out the rear to the deadbolt size. So these are 10 millimeters longer. I left the uppers just the stock plastic ones. Those no need to change them out. Keeps the weight savings a little bit on the back. So those are gonna work fine. And everything lined up perfect anyways. So the drive shaft angle and everything works out great. I did change out the sleeve for the rear drive shaft. I had to put a longer sleeve in there because the stock one was just too short. So I'll change that out, and then that's all set. So now that's kind of how that's going to sit. I'm going to raise the body up just a tiny bit. With the magnets, will go up a little bit, but once I put the magnets on, we should be able to get some full lock here, clearance, and then the front, I think when it's raised, it might rub a little bit. I don't know if I want to trim that. I might just leave it. Maybe once I get the magnets on and stuff, I'll see how much that actually hits to see if I want to trim that. And then the rear should be fine. I think that's going to clear. So I'll put the magnets on, and then I'll probably take it for a test run a little bit on the course, but I think that's going to look good. I like the stance of that too. See if I can center that with it. So I think that's going to look really good. Actually, do I have the magnets here? Let me throw the magnets on, and you can kind of see. I'm going to go taller magnets just to raise it up a little bit higher. Yeah, so that's pretty much where it's going to stay, about that height there. And you can see that's the body's just above where the links are. So that's going to clear perfectly. So now the body's not going to get in the way of clearance. And yeah, you see it's hitting there, but I don't think I'll have to run it. I might just clear out that. See if I can get that. Get something to point with. I might clear out that little section right there. Just trim that a little bit, just so the wheel doesn't grab as much. These tires are a little bit aggressive. Actually, I have these ones on backwards. But the tires are a little bit aggressive, so it is going to kind of grab with those lugs. So I'll probably trim that out a little bit and clean it up. But the back's gonna, that's perfect. It actually fits right in the wheel well. Yeah, so I like that. I'm happy with that. And I'm happy with the stance too. That looks nice. So I'll put these magnets on. I'll glue it down, figure out if I'm going to run it on the indoor course, see if I'm going to trim a little bit. We still have, I think I have about 18 to 20 inches of snow outside still, so it's unfortunately the next couple of builds I don't think we're going to be able to do outside, but I'll run it on the indoor course at least, and I'll be able to kind of hit enough lines to see how it rubs and stuff. So I'll do that. I'll glue it, do the indoor course, and then we're ready for paint. So yeah, next time we come back, I'll figure out a paint color for this. All right, so I got a little ahead of myself and already went over, did some of the detail work. I haven't finished it yet, but I forgot to record it after I painted. So I ended up doing some test runs on it, and the front hits a little bit, but not enough to grab or anything. So I didn't end up trimming anything at all on the body. So I did go ahead and paint it. It's this the Vallejo orange rust. I did another one. I think the same body, but for one of these SCX 30s. I did the same color and I liked it, so I figured I'd do it again on this one. So like I said, I just started some of the detail work. I'm gonna finish that up and then do the windows, clear coat it, and then we'll get some running on this. So we'll next time you come back, we'll be after the run footage. Alright guys, here it is. Complete build. So from the last time you saw it, we added a little blower on it, put in the lights, finished some of the trimming, put some stacks on there, make a nice little supercharged diesel out of it. We got the tail lights on there, and then the glass. Did some windows there, almost like a like the windows are rolled down. That one's kind of hard to see with that. Actually, we'll pull the body, so you can see that little glass there, right there and there. Then we did got the front rear glass on there. So that's it. So I ended up painting this this orange rust. So I painted it with that. I think that came out nice. So that's a complete build. So I ended up swapping out the tires. I did on the video there. I kind of showed where I changed them out. I originally had the Super Swampers, the TSL Boggers. These are the ones I originally started with, and then they weren't gripping good. They were slipping a lot. I think the lugs were just too big. So then I ended up cutting the lugs. You can see that, trimming them all down, seeing if that worked, and it did make a difference. But I wasn't happy with the performance of these. So I pulled those off, and I ended up with the 52mm J Concept Tusks. And those, I mean, they grip so much better. Tiny bit smaller, but they work so much better. I don't think you lose much height. I think they're maybe like a millimeter or two, maybe like 2 millimeters smaller. But they work great. So I think those are perfect. Did have, you could hear it kind of rubbing here on the front. It's not stopping it, but it definitely is rubbing a little bit. I don't know if it gives trouble, maybe cut them off, but I think they're fine. And yeah, performance, I mean, I wasn't happy, like I said, I wasn't happy with how I was performing before. I thought maybe it was a setup or something, but it was just the tires. Once I swapped out the tires, this did great. I'll put the weight on the corner scales. I'll put that up right now. So it's about, I think it's at about 56 front weight. So I think it did great. I don't know if you'd have to add anything else, but if you wanted to add some more weight, maybe doing the brass knuckles would do something. Give it a little bit more front bias, but I think it still performed great. And that was without the battery. So depending on the battery, I mean, it shouldn't add too much, but might add a little bit. So the servo, this is the first time using this PTK servo. I think this is a 7 gram. Can't remember what size this one is. I've used I also added some bands in the front just to help out a little bit. I used the silver one. I didn't think it was any different, but maybe it is. I don't think I have one with me right now. This one's much slower and weaker than the silver one. I probably wouldn't use this one again. It was cheaper, but that's probably why. I think I'm going to stick with the Mios ones. Those worked really good. So this one's a little bit weaker, not as good as the other one. Still works, but when it's getting hung up, it doesn't have the power really to push back. So depending on what you do with this, maybe change out the servo at some point. Like I said, it works. It's just when it gets jammed up, it doesn't have the power to really push off of it. So that would be the only thing I'm kind of disappointed with, but like I said, it still works. Did the AliExpress ESC in there, and I put on the was this PH 2.0, the regular stock battery connector on there. Using the stock 2-in-1 system, just using it for the receiver only. I would recommend getting a smaller one just to kind of clear up some space, but these aren't heavy anyways, and it fits in the body. It just kind of pokes out a little bit. I think that's it. Everything else, like I said, everything else worked great. I love how the body ended up. I think it's just a little bit different, just having the stacks and the motor and everything changes it up a little bit. Yeah, like I said, I'm happy with this. The servo, I think, would be the only thing I would recommend changing, but like I said, it doesn't have to be, depending on what you do with it. If you're not doing any kind of hardcore running, I think it'll work fine. Yeah, so that's it. This is what it came with. And that's basically what's left of it. I still have a bag of some of the other parts that I didn't use, but just some of the links, frame, the shocks, and motor and all that stuff is left over. So that will head back with you, but this is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm hoping maybe some of the snow will start melting and we'll be able to get back outside for the next one, but I'm not sure. So hopefully we'll have one. I'm going to try to upload these every Wednesday. So hopefully next one we'll be ready for next week on Wednesday. It might be a little bit later, but we'll see. The next one is a fun one. I'm excited for that one. It's all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.